Good noon to everybody. My name's Byron. I'm filling in for Brian today. I know a bunch of you. We're going to start in child's pose. As we just started a little 60-minute journey. So with a little shorter class than we're all used to, all that really means is that your focusing and your breathing needs to happen a little bit faster. The shift that we make away from all things external and to all things internal just starts to happen a little smoothly, a little smoother than usual. So let's start that process. Everybody take a nice big inhale through the nose. And then open your mouth, let it go. Good. Still filtering all the air here in and out of the nostrils as long as that's possible for you. Just starts to stretch the arms straight out in front of you. Good. And spread the fingers nice and wide. And here's the first of two really important transitions that we're going to make. So let's do it very mindfully. Just rock up onto the hands and the knees. Good. And then curl the toes under. Downward facing dog, hips up and back. Good. And I say it's one of the two most important transitions. The last one being, when we transition back into the world outside of this room, just because the beginning and the ending are just so important in everything that we do. So here in the beginning, especially feeding all of your awareness and attention to your breath is the name of the game. And just becoming unattached to all things physical. So even if you might have came here to get a physical exercise, that part's going to happen whether you want it to or not. Make it more about your breath. Make it more of a personal experience. Feed off of the energy from the people around you. But refuse to be distracted by anything. Good. From here, slide forward to plank position. Stack your shoulders over the wrists. Bend the elbows lower halfway down and hold. I want the elbows to touch the ribs. And then press up, downward facing dog. If you notice that was a lot for you, you're going to set your knees on the floor. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, slide forward, knees down or not. Lower halfway, elbows in tight. Good. Press up, downward facing dog. 2 more just like that. Steady breath, steady mind. Inhale, slide forward, plank. Elbows in tight, lower halfway. Good. Inhale, press up. Exhale, down dog. Good. 1 more time, still warming up. Inhale, slide forward. Exhale, lower. Exhale, press up. Downward facing dog. Go ahead and unplug your hands, crawl them back to your feet. So you're at the back of the mat in a forward fold. And if you're like me, you'll just take your opposite elbows, hang out. Maybe put a soft bend in the knees, so it's more about your lower back than it is about anything else. Good. Just kind of observing, noticing little things. That's really what we're trying to do. Bring awareness. Good. Take your hands behind your back. Stay in the forward fold. Just interlace your fingers. Stretch the arms, maybe straight. Involve the shoulders if it feels good. You could send the knuckles off the back or over the head. And for some of us that have tight shoulders, it's the first opportunity for the ego to start to get involved. I say that from personal experience just because I have tight shoulders. It doesn't matter how far the knuckles go over the head. And release the hands to the floor. Come back out to downward facing dog. Crawl out. When you get to downward facing dog, really spread your fingers wide. I want to talk about down dog just for about a minute here. We're going to do it with a 3-legged down dog first. So lift your right leg up. Good. See how straight you can make your right leg. So I want you to feel the back of your right knee starting to open up. And you don't want to open your hip, especially for this one, because we're about to do something that's going to add some challenges to it. Match the strength and the straightness of your right leg with your right arm. Okay? And then come up to the fingertips of your left hand. Just kind of feel the stability there. You're going to need the left heel to press down. And then if you feel comfortable here, reach the left arm forward in a handshake position. Good. And you could stay on the fingertips too. That's a nice start. Very nice. Left palm down, right leg down. Switch legs. Lift your left leg and take your time. Make it really straight, really strong. So down dog's a pose that you're lifting out of. You're not sinking down into. You can really test it here if you just straighten that left arm and left leg and come up to the fingertips of the right hand. And that might be it. That's perfectly fine. But if you want to add the challenge, you could reach the right arm forward in a handshake position. Good. Very nice. Right palm down, downward facing dog. Slide forward to plank position on an inhale. Good. So if your knees are off the ground, see if you can lift your right toes off the ground, just an inch. Just an inch. And then the same thing. Come up to the fingertips of the left hand if you feel strong in your right shoulder. Good. If you're struggling, this is as far as you're going to go. Maybe reach the left arm forward if you want a little more. A lot of ifs here. Make sure you're listening to yourself, not your ego. Good. And then back to plank pose. Switch toes. Lift your left toes off the ground. And personally, that's as far as I would have taken it the first few years that I practiced. But if you're ready for it, sure, come up to the fingertips of the right hand, and you're welcome to try to reach the right arm forward. It's a ton of strength. Ton of strength in the shoulder, in the core. Some things might start to bubble up here that you're not too fond of. That's okay. Back to plank pose. Downward facing dog. Hips up and back. Unplug your hands. Crawl them back to the feet. Let's do that one more time. Take the opposite elbows in the opposite way you previously did. So it'll feel a little funky at first. And if you're like me, maybe you'll sway a little left and right. So you're just like the legs of the trunk of the tree, the roots. You're just swaying in the wind like like the leaves. So you're just surrendering to gravity. Wherever gravity happens to take you, you're willing to go. And one more time, hands behind the back. Stay in the forward fold. Interlace the fingers. Do it one finger over than what you're used to doing. And notice that the shoulders start talking to you a little bit. Any sticky energy. Maybe it's smooth. Nice. Release your hands down to the floor. Put a little bend in your knees and roll your way up to standing. Take your time. And once you come all the way up, go ahead and sweep the arms over the head. Inhale. And then hands where the heart is. Exhale. Good. Just a moment here, 3 deep breaths. If you'd like to set any dedications or intentions for your practice, person, place, thing, trait, gratitude. Good. Take one more inhale, deep through the nose. Open your mouth, let it go. Take a couple steps up so you're at the front of the mat. Feet hips width apart. We're going to start to move here. Inhale, sweep your arms up and over your head. And then forward fold as you exhale, drop the head. Very nice. Inhale, flatten the spine. And then fold in. Go ahead and stay here. Stand up again. Sweep the arms over the head. And then hands to heart center. Exhale, draw it in. Again, inhale, sweep and reach and feel your side body stretch. Exhale, forward fold. Blending body, breath, and mind. Good. Inhale, flatten the back. Fold in and step your left leg to the back of the mat. Good. Stack your right knee over your right ankle. Straighten your left leg. Come up to your fingertips. Start to pull your heart forward. Next, run your arms down by your sides like wings. And so there's all kinds of technical directions I could throw at you, and I probably will. And if none of them make sense to you, how about this? Just breathe. Tune me out. We're at different levels of our practice, levels of experience. But if you want to do a little extra work here, pull that right hip underneath you a little more. So you're turning it in. You're pressing that left leg a little straighter. Good. Very nice. Last inhale here. Hands to the floor. Step your left foot to the top of the mat as you exhale. Good. Inhale, flatten the spine. Exhale, fold in. Step your right leg back as you exhale. Fingertips, heart forward, right leg straight. And then both arms down by your sides simultaneously. So it happens in that order. And if you do it a little faster than the way I'm describing it, that's fine. Just try not to get to the end result before you do the first important thing, building from the ground up. The feet are the most important. Good. Minus the breath. Breath is obviously the most important. Take one more inhale here. Hands to the floor. Step your right foot forward, top of the mat. Exhale. Inhale, flatten the spine. Exhale, fold in. One more time. Stand up. Sweep your arms over the head. And then hands where the heart is. Exhale. Synchronize breath and movement. Inhale, sweep and reach. Arms rise. Exhale, fall forward. Lay the torso over your thighs. Good. Inhale, flatten the spine. Fold in. Step the left leg back. Let's do this one more time. Only this time, fingertips, heart forward, left leg straight. Both arms forward simultaneously. If you notice that's kind of an issue for you, you can modify. Hands on thigh or arms down by your sides. From here, crescent. A little bend in the left knee might help you rise the arms up vertically. And if you tilt your tailbone low, you're going to feel the left hip flexor stretch on the top of that left thigh bone. You're trying to touch the ceiling, but the shoulders are trying to touch the floor. Take one more inhale here. Bring both hands down to the ground and pause. Reach your right arm straight up in the air. It's a twist. Good. So as you open your right chest, right arm, make sure you're not using the left knee to sag down. It's not an illusion. Good. Beautiful. And then from here, take your sweet time. Roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. Swing your right leg back and stack your legs on top of each other. The alternative to this is to set your left knee down on the floor. Good. That's called a modification. Modification's a sign of intelligence. The other alternative is to reach the right arm over the right ear and potentially lift your right foot in the air. Very nice. Now we're going to try something here. Listen close. You're going to hug the right knee into the chest. You're not going to use your arm. You're just going to squeeze the right knee into your chest. Good. Even if your knee's on the floor, squeeze the right knee into the chest. Look forward to the front of the mat. Step the foot to the front of the mat. Spin onto your left toes. Come into crescent pose. Inhale, sweep your arms high. Not too shabby. And then hands down to the floor. Step your left foot forward, top of the mat. Inhale, flatten the spine. Exhale, fold in. Step your right leg back. Good. Fingertips, heart forward. Inhale. Both arms forward as you exhale. Good. So when both arms are forward like this, you want that back leg razor sharp and straight. I can speak from experience. You don't want to pull muscles in your lower back. But whenever you come up to crescent, a little bend in the right knee will help you alleviate the pressure. Reach both arms up vertically. And what you're doing with those arms is you're trying to wrap the triceps to the front of the room. Good. And that's after you figure out the lower body. So the inner thighs squeeze and hug the midline. That tailbone tilts low. Then again, maybe if you want to sink a little deeper into the pose, reach a little higher out of the pose. That's it. Take one more inhale. Both hands to the ground. Pause. Reach your left arm straight up. Twist. Good. So yoga is for everyone. You know, it's a little difficult for some of us. You know, say if you only have one arm or one leg, it's still possible. The benefits are there just if you try. Here's the other option. If you want to modify, right knee down. Otherwise, roll onto the outer edge of your right foot. Swing your left leg back. You know, those of us that are dyslexic, that's also a disability because you're always on the wrong side. Good. Good. Extend the left arm over the left ear. Breathe and try to practice this yoga pose with your face. And all I really mean by that is that you're not showing the struggle even if you are struggling. If you're struggling, child's pose is where you go. Good. So left arm up. Remember what we did? Left knee to chest. Take your time in this transition. Look forward, top of the mat. Step that left foot there. You got it. Spin onto your right toes. Inhale, crescent. Sweep the arms high. Both hands down to the ground. Step the right foot up to meet the left. Beautiful. Inhale, flatten the spine. Fold in. Exhale. This time, chair position. Bend the knees. Squat. Shift the weight into your heels. Good. And then stand up, hands to the heart. Shift the weight into your right foot. Hug the left knee into your chest. This time reach down and hug it in physically with the left hand. Both hands. See how tall you can stand up. Very nice. And then bring your hands to your hips. Good. Straighten your left knee. It doesn't matter if it's parallel to the mat. It might be if you've been doing this a while, if you have really strong hip flexor. And notice what the eyes are doing. Pick a spot on the floor. Try to focus only on that one spot. And then we're going to shift into what's called airplane or warrior 3, hinging from your waist. Lay your torso forward, kick your left leg back, and it's really muscle memory. I would probably say you want to bend the right knee a little bit to get there, bend the left knee, but it's personal. That's how I get there. Well, I do know that once you do get there, you don't want to place the hands anywhere that's going to risk any more injuries than you already have. So you're going to modify. And the other thing I know is you're not going to judge if you fall, because falling's learning, just like when you were a toddler and you started to learn how to walk. Keep your left leg up, drop the fingertips only to the ground, and then crawl those fingertips a little closer to your right toes. Relax your face, your neck, your nose. In other words, try to use the muscles that you're using and rest the ones that you're not. It's pretty simple in that aspect. Very nice. Maybe lift an inch higher. Take one last inhale. Feet together, top of the mat on the exhale. Good. Inhale, flatten the back. Fingertips or shins. Exhale, fold it in. Shift the weight into the heels. Squat down, chair position. Reach the arms high. Draw that belly in. And then shoot to standing, hands to heart. Shift the weight into the left foot. Hug the right knee into the chest. Give it a nice squeeze. And you're never in a rush. Even if my cadence is a little faster because we are in a 60-minute class, it doesn't mean that your approach is any different. Good. When you're ready, hands to the hips, straighten your right knee. Good. And, anytime I'm on my left foot, I always notice I'm a little more, fumbling around. It's a little harder to balance for whatever reason. Good. When you're ready, warrior 3, hinge forward, smoothly, gracefully kick that right leg back. Let me tell you, grace is not something that happens easily. It happens with a ton of experience. Good. Very nice. Little bit of cobra in that spine. Keep the right leg high. Let the fingertips come down and enjoy the stretch. It's called standing splits. Fingertips crawl a little closer into your left toes. Good, and you're trying to take that neutral rotation to the hips so it feels like you're lifting from the inseam of your right leg. Beautiful, you guys. Take one more inhale, maybe lift an inch higher. Feet together as you exhale. Finally, inhale, flatten the back. Fingertips or shins, step or hop back. Lower down and keep your elbows in. Next is cobra. Take it easy. The first one's low. And then downward facing dog, hips up and back. Good. And then everybody collectively, big inhalation through the nose. Open the mouth, let it go. Very nice. Let's just keep moving here. Inhale, hips lifting, knees bending. Exhale, stepping or floating through to the top. Inhale, flatten the spine. Exhale, fold in. So 2 chairs. Here's the first. Bend the knees, squat down, reach the arms to the sky. And then stand up, pull the hands to the midline. Back to chair pose. Next inhalation, Utkatasana, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway glancing, Ardha. Step or float back, Chaturanga. Good. Cobra inhale, easy does it. Downward facing dog. Good. Sweep your right leg behind you. Take an inhale. Right knee to the nose. Squeeze it in. Now hold it there. Now listen closely. We're not going to step the foot through or sweep it back. We're going to set the knee on the floor right there. Just set it down. And then lift it up around your shoulders. Good. Inhale, set the knee down. Exhale, lift and round. 2 more. Inhale, set it down. Exhale, lift and round the shoulders. Last one, set it down. Lift and round. If you need to come up to your fingertips, do it. Step the foot through, top of the mat. Back foot spins flat. Reach your arms down by your ribs. Good. So you feel like you're very aerodynamic with your arms. Good. Left heel is what actually guides your right hip back. Use that. And then warrior 1 arms. Inhale, sweep the arms to the sky. Beautiful. Good. If you choose to sink a little deeper into the right leg, make sure it's not pinching the lower back. Good. Take one more inhale here. Bring your hands down to the ground. Now listen, one-legged plank. Right leg back. Hover the right toes in the air. Good. Stay here, but if you want a little extra, bend your elbows lower halfway down. and then press back up. Listen, right knee to the nose again, round your shoulders, step it through. Back foot flat, come back to warrior one, sweep your arms up. This time, connect your hands behind your back and interlace your fingers. Inhale, pull the chest open, fire the back leg up, and fold inside of your right leg with a little devotion, which devotion just means commitment. So it means if you're going to do something, by gosh, do it. Let the neck be soft. Let the breath be free. Just exploring a little self-massaging. Power up the back leg. That's going to secure your back. Come back to warrior one. Sweep the arms to the sky. As you exhale, hands to the floor. Right leg back. Take the full vinyasa. Maybe add the up dog if you know it and how to do it safely. And then downward facing dog. Very nice. Keep moving. Lift your left leg back. Inhale. Knee to nose. Squeeze it in. Round your shoulder heads. Press that floor away. And instead of stepping the foot through, just tap the knee to the floor. Lift it up and round the shoulders. 3 more. Inhale. Set it down. This is how you step through. Lift and round. 2 more. Inhale. Tap it. Lift and round it. Last one. Inhale. Set it down. Lift and round. And notice if you come to the fingertips, it might help you. Step the foot through. Back heel flat, reach the arms down by your sides. The reason we reach the arms down by the sides to start the pose is because warrior one happens before you ever come up to warrior one. Good. Use the strength of your right leg, powerfully rise, warrior one, arms to the sky. Very nice. Good, and they should just rename this pose back leg pose. Because it's more about the back leg than it is about the front leg. That's your security. Good. Maybe sink a little deeper, but if you do, reach a little higher. Take one more inhale here, bring both hands down to the ground. Remember one-legged plank? You shouldn't because you're so present, but go ahead and come back to it. Left leg back, cover the toes. If you want more, bend the elbows lower halfway, and then press straight back up. Left knee to the nose again, round the shoulders, step the foot through, top of the mat. Back heel flat, warrior one. Sweep the arms straight up, and then hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers. One finger over, change it up. Inhale, peel the chest open. Exhale, fold inside the left knee. Good. And modify if you need to. Some of you guys have giant shoulders, and you could just heel toe the left foot to the right, to the left, if you wanted to fit that shoulder in. And some of you guys have 30-pound heads. You definitely want to not hold the tension in the neck. Very nice. Use the back leg to help you. Come all the way back up to the top. Warrior one arms. And then both hands down to the ground. Take the vinyasa with skill. So very slow. Enjoy the vinyasa. Lower slow. Cobra inhale. You're the one in control. And then exhale, hips up and back. Downward facing dog. I know. Starting to feel the body warmth. Circulation is increased. Feed all that awareness to the breath, and the rest will happen naturally. Good. So let's move on from here. Inhale, wind your hips back, bend the knees. Exhale, step or slingshot the feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, flatten the spine. Exhale, fold in. Back to chair position, bend the knees, squat low. This time, stay here, palms together, twist to the right. Hook your left elbow out of right thigh. And I say right thigh. Some of you guys might only make it to the knee. It might only be the tip of the elbow. Some of you guys might have that whole armpit on that right thigh. It's such a personal thing. We'd be here all day if I was trying to explain every little thing. Just do what feels right. To a degree, stay with the discipline of the practice, which is your breath. Good. Inhale, come back to the center line chair position. Exhale, twist to the left. Use your right elbow like an anchor. Anchor it on the left leg. So in every pose, there's an anchor. Some are obvious, some are not obvious. This is an obvious anchor. Without an anchor, how do you find length? You don't. So from that right elbow, pull the heart forward, even out the hips, and then use the coordination with the breath and the movement to deepen the twist. That's it for now. Back to chair position. Inhale. Forward fold, straight legs as you exhale. Let's keep moving. Inhale, flatten the back, glancing. Step or hop back, lower down without collapsing. Good. Cobra, inhale, easy, maybe the up dog. Downward facing dog, exhale. So we're going to add some movements on here. Stay with me. Right leg back, inhale. Knee to nose, exhale. Now you can sweep the right leg back, inhale. And then step it all the way through, exhale. Back foot flat, warrior one. We've already been here. Hands behind the back, interlaced. Inhale, open the chest, and then fold inside of the right leg. Just one breath. Easy does it. Come back to warrior one. And then warrior two. This is when you open your arms to the sides of you. Your hips face the side of the room. But you commit your right knee to pressing open to the right. Good. You commit your eyes to being soft. Good. Usually, from my experience teaching, I look around and warrior two, it looks like people are really like there's the deer, the spotlight on them. They just look like freaked out. See if you can stay calm, just like a warrior would need to. Good. From here, turn your right palm up, sweep it back, reverse the warrior. Good. Pull through the fingertips. Good. Yeah, take one more inhale, reach a little more, and then cartwheel the arms down to the floor. Get off the right leg, send it back, lower slow. Good. Cobra's your inhale, nice and easy. Downward facing dog. Good. And keep moving, left leg back, inhale. Knee to nose, squeeze it in, exhale. Nice. Inhale, sweep it high to the sky. Step it through, spin the back foot flat. Rise, warrior one. Big inhale, reach. Hands behind the back, connect. Inhale, open the chest. Fold inside of your left leg. Good. Powerfully come back to the top, warrior one. And then open up warrior two. Exhale. Good. So those of you who really like hip openers, this is a baby hip opener. You pin that left knee really open to the left. Good. Very nice. Turn your left palm up. Without changing the structure of your legs, reverse the warrior. Sweep it all the way back and pull through your left ribs. Should feel really nice. Use the straightness of your left arm like a lever. Take one more inhale, get longer. Exhale, windmill the arms down to the floor. Get off the left leg and lower slow. Good. Cobra, inhale. And if you want double time, come back to the chaturanga as you exhale. Press up and back, downward facing dog. Very nice. We're just going to add a couple more movements on to what we've already done. Keep pulling that breath down low. Remember where child's pose is. And here we go. Inhale, press the hips back, bend the knees. Exhale, step or spring, top of the mat. Good. Inhale, flatten out. Exhale, fold and round, squat down. Chair position, bend the knees. Remember this, palms together, twist to the right, hook the left elbow. Good. And then this time, start to shift the weight into your right foot. See if you can lift your left heel off the ground. So you're on the ball of your left foot. Yeah, and if you're comfortable there, yeah, sure, lift the whole foot off the ground. Let a little balance, a little breath. And then back to chair, both feet down. Inhale. Let's switch sides on the exhale. No rush. Hook the right elbow out or left knee or thigh. And then shift the weight into the left foot. Peel the right heel off the ground so you're on the ball of your right foot. And only if it makes sense you lift the whole foot off the ground. It's an incremental practice. You don't do all things at once. When you're trying to lose weight on a diet, you lose 1 pound at a time, not 10 at once. Set the foot down, forward fold, nice and easy. Inhale, flatten the spine. Step or hop back, lower down, take the flow. You're welcome to skip these if you feel nice and warm. Cobra, inhale, nice easy back bend. Downward facing dog again. Lift the right leg back, new movement, inhale. Right knee, right elbow as you exhale. Inhale, sweep the right leg back. To the opposite elbow across the body, give it a tap. Inhale, sweep the right leg high. Step it through, back heel flat. Warrior one, rise the arms to the sky. Good, hands behind the back. Take this one easy. Interlace the fingers, open up the chest. Fold inside the right leg. Good. Back to the top, warrior one arms. Warrior two, open up. Good. From here, reverse warrior, flip your palm up, right forearm to right thigh. Reach the left arm up and over your left ear. Good. The second option here is to bring the right fingertips to the floor or the palm. These are options. They're not demands. It was optional for you to show up today, just like every single pose is optional. Good. If you want a little extra, option to reach the right arm forward parallel to the left arm. Pacing yourself is wise. Good. Very nice. Starting to change it up now. Back to reverse warrior with a ton of strength in your right leg. Good. Bring it back to warrior two and straighten your right knee. Pivot your right foot in parallel with your left. You're going to face the side of the room. Bring your hands to your hip bones. Good. Heels a little wider than your toes so that the knees are safe. With strong legs and a flat back, lean forward about halfway. Once you're halfway, drop your fingers to the floor. Come up to the fingers, take an inhale, flat back. Fold in as you exhale and melt. Yes. We'll be here for maybe 7 breaths or so. If you want to take the feet, feel free. Yeah, we call it prasarita. In Sanskrit terms, it basically means a freaking amazing stretch on your lower back. I'd enjoy it. Very nice. Stay in a forward fold. Just crawl your hands over to your left foot. See if you can make it all the way over there. If you do make it all the way over there, take your right hand to the outer left ankle. Reach your left arm straight up. And if you're still with me, take your left hand behind your back. Wrap the inner right thigh. You got a lot going on right here. Kind of like a human pretzel. Now, had we tried this before we did anything to warm up, we'd probably all be out for 3 months because we'd pull muscles. But now it actually feels kind of good. Very nice. Take one last nice inhale. Slide the left hand down to the ground. Crawl over to your right foot. Instead of doing the same thing, spin your right toes to the front of the room. Set up for crescent pose. Bend the right knee and spin onto your back toes as well. Frame the right foot, and on an inhale, sweep your arms straight up to the sky. And as you exhale, hands to the heart, twist to the right. Hook your left elbow, outer right thigh. Good. If you're struggling, that left knee comes down to the ground. If you think about it more than once, you should probably just do it. Good. But if your left knee is off the ground, you should just straighten it the best that you can to find more leverage. Good. Good. And then just like that belt, you're ratcheting it up 1 notch at a time. Not 5 notches, 5 notches, just 1 at a time. Good. Now this is a tricky transition for some of us. It requires a lot of strength. Crescent pose, inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. Remember warrior two, spin your back foot flat, open the arms to the sides. There'll be a break coming up, but first, right hand to the floor inside the right foot. Drop your left hand behind your back. Wrap the inner right thigh with your left hand and open your left chest. If you're still high energy and feeling pretty good, slide the right hand underneath the right thigh. Take the fingertips or the palm of your left hand. And if you know one of those fancy standing poses and you want to explore it, step up to the top of the mat, bound half moon or birds of paradise. And just so you know, none of these poses are better than the other poses. They're just different. You know, the easiest way to know if you're getting better at yoga is you quit honking your horn so much. You just be a little bit nicer of a person. Good. Last 3 breaths, wherever you are. Take an easy transition here. 4, 2, and 1 more inhale. If you're standing, come back. Right hand down, left arm up. Take a moment here. Don't straighten the leg yet. Take a moment. Realize everything's okay. And then press up to warrior two. And straighten your right leg. Triangle pose. Reach for the front wall. Inhale like you're trying to touch it. Exhale, float the right hand down to the shin bone, ankle bone, wherever it naturally falls without forcing it down. Very nice. Left chest wide open. Actually feels kind of good. Now this is it's a simple pose. It's also the one that's done very wrong by a lot of people. So you want that hip underneath you. This is the one I always go home and show mom. She seems to really like it. Good. Go ahead and look down in front of your right toes, bend your right knee, and crawl the right hand forward, about a foot or so. And then we'll press up into the balancing pose. It's called half moon. Left leg off the floor. So the left leg is pretty much parallel with your mat. You can't really tell because your eyes are on your head and they're not on your left foot. But if you start to peel the left hip open on top of the right and really reach through the left hand like you're a starfish, just getting longer through every point, then you can actually feel the strength of the left legs more than the right. Good. Very nice. Now we've done a ton on this leg. It should be about to collapse. This is good. We found our edge. Take one more inhale, both hands down to the ground. Remember this? We took standing splits a long time ago. We're going to do it a little differently. Square your hips. Crawl your fingers about 3 inches forward in front of you. And then use the right hand. Crawl it 3 inches to the right, and the left hand 3 inches to the left. Bend your right knee a lot, like halfway. Come up to your fingertips. Think flat back on an inhale. Bring your hands to your heart center as you exhale. Yeah, we call this glutasana. For 3, can you sustain where you are and not make that look on your face? 2, come all the way up to standing. Easy does it. Feet together. 1, oh my gosh. Chair pose. Inhale, squat the hips low. Palms together, twist to the right, hook your left elbow. Now we're going to take this twist into a different style. If your knees allow you to, squat all the way down to your heels. So you're on the balls of your feet. You got 2 options. Option 1, keep the twist. Option 1, left arm straight down, right arm straight up. Option 2, side crow, which is both palms down. Good. You find the arm balance. If you don't know side crow, maybe save it for another day if you want to try it. There's a few people in here trying it out. Got to be willing to fall on your face a couple times. Good. And we only have time for about 3 more deep breaths, so wherever you are, enjoy it for 2. And we'll all just meet in a forward fold in 1. Forward fold. Inhale, flatten the spine. Step or maybe hop back to plank, down dog, or take the vinyasa, yogi's choice. Good, and very fortunately for you guys, you get one more side to go. Sweep your left leg back. Inhale, left knee, left elbow. Exhale, squeeze it. Inhale, pull the left leg high, and then twist it across to the right side. Inhale, sweep it back, and exhale, step it through. Back foot flat, come up to warrior 1, sweep those arms, and then hands behind the back. Connect the dots, connect the hands. Inhale, peel the chest open, and then fold inside of the left leg. Good, fire up the back leg, come back to the top, warrior 1, and then open up warrior 2, arms to the side. Good, flip the left palm up, reverse the warrior. This time, rest your left forearm on top of your left thigh. Reach the right arm to the sky and over the right ear. If you want a little more, sure. Left hand to the ground, fingertips or palm. Keep opening that right chest. Breathe. If you want a little extra, reach the left arm out parallel to the right. But if you took that option, it either means you're really strong or you're insane. Or a little bit of both. Good. Right arm up, press up warrior 2. Let's reverse warrior again. Left palm up, pull it behind you. And then one more time, fingers to the ground, right arm over right ear. Good. And just hold it. And a lot of the good stuff in this practice happens when you hold the pose. It doesn't seem so good at the time, but if you make it through, which you will, lots of good stuff happens. Easy does it. Press up to warrior 2 with a sweet release. Straighten your left knee. Pivot your left foot in parallel to your right. We're going to take your favorite shoulder opener here. So reverse prayer behind the back with the palms together, fingers point up. Opposite elbows or interlaced fingers. Inhale, open the chest, make the legs strong. Same idea with a flat back, lean forward. If you have a deep shoulder stretch here, you might only make it halfway. Good. Wherever you are, just breathe. Maybe even visualize the tension melting, just melting off of you. Almost like your breath was made out of fire and the tension in the body was made out of ice. And you're just picking away that ice, just melting it. Gorgeous, you guys. Stay in your forward fold. Release the hands to the ground. You have two options here. First option, just crawl the arms straight out in front of you as far as you can without moving your legs. Think downward facing dog with a really wide stance. Yes. The second option is to go upside down if you know how to without creating a domino effect and falling into other people. Good. And breathe. Bring your hands all the way out here. Nice. Good. Breathe. Very nice. One of my favorite stretches of all time is this one right here. If you're upside down, take your sweet time and come back down. If you're in that long down dog, crawl your hands back so they're underneath the shoulder blades, and then crawl over to your right foot. So we're at the back of the mat. Remember this. You shouldn't remember this because you're not thinking ahead, but reach your right arm up and twist. And if it makes sense, only if it makes sense, take your right hand behind your back. Wrap the inner left thigh. Yeah, so you got a ton going on right here. Breathe. Nice. Call it the human pretzel pose. And take one more nice inhale. Slide the right hand down. Make your way over to your left foot. When you get over there, spin your left toes to the front of the room. Crescent pose. Spin onto your right toes. Frame your left foot. Bend your left knee 90 degrees. And inhale, rise the arms up vertically. Once you're up and once you're balanced, hands to the heart, twist to the left. Hook your right elbow, outer left knee, left thigh. And try to pull and suck everything into the midline, which means the inner thighs hug and squeeze. The left palm presses into the right towards the heart. But again, it doesn't happen all at once. It happens over the course of, say, the 5 or 6 breaths that we're here. It's an incremental process. Good. Now it's not an easy transition, but see if you can do it easily. Come up to crescent pose. Inhale, trust your left knee. Back foot flat. Remember warrior 2. Here we are. Probably the hardest thing we'll do today. Left fingertips on the floor, inside the left foot. Drop your right hand behind your back. Wrap the inner left thigh with that top hand. If you're feeling like it, sure, take the full bind. Sometimes it just means you have really long arms. And then if you're feeling high energy, take a standing pose. Wherever you are, it's still more about breathing than it is about anything else. Good. Beautiful. Last 3 breaths, wherever you are. Breathe into that left hip. 4, 2. If you made it to a standing pose gracefully without crashing, come back down. Last inhale here. Left hand down, right arm up. Take a moment. Realize everything's okay. Panicking's for earthquakes. Press up, warrior 2. And then straighten your left knee. Triangle pose. Inhale, reach, 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 reach. And then exhale, float, 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 float. The left hand down to the ankle bone, shin bone, wherever it happens to go. You guys are almost there. Not a whole bunch left to do, but we do have this pose here. Look down in front of your left toes. Don't look away. Just bend your left knee. Let the left hand crawl forward about a foot or so. Press your right leg off the floor. You're in the half moon pose. I don't know if you guys saw that cool eclipse the other day, but when it was halfway covered up, I just got into this pose for the heck of it. Peel that right hip open on top of the left. Breathe for the last 3. Good. And 2. Steady breath, steady mind. Right hand down. Square your right hip even with your left. Remember Glutasana? Crawl the hands forward a few inches and then spread the hands a little wider away from each other. Bend the standing knee quite a bit. Come up to your fingertips and think flat back on the inhale. Hands to the heart center as you exhale. Now, it's not easy. If you wanted easy, you probably wouldn't have shown up today. For 3, you got it. A little shaking's great. 2, in 1, come up to standing feet together, almost done. Chair pose, inhale, squat low. Palms together, twist to the left and hook your right elbow. And if your knees don't like this very much, don't do it. Otherwise, squat all the way down to the heels so you're on the balls of the feet. And then just straighten your right arm down and reach your left arm to the sky. Yes. And if it makes sense and you want the arm balance, go for it. Last 3. Good. And 2. 1 more inhale, forward fold, everybody. Exhale. Separate your feet, shoulder width apart. Lift your toes off the ground. Slide your hands underneath your feet. Oh. Let the hands get a little love, the wrists. No, there's not a single person in humanity that has hands that doesn't need a little release, especially with all the things we make with our hands. We communicate with our hands. Good. And then slowly step off of your hands. Widen your feet about 6 inches on each side. Point your toes out. Yogi squat. Squat down. Pull your heart up and forward. Feel the lower back get nice and broad. That's your sacrum. And if you're like me, I get into this pose sometimes and I just find that juicy place I don't want to leave. Then don't leave it. Stay in it, you know. This is your practice. There is an arm balance here. It'll be the last strong thing we do today if you want it. Crow pose. Hands down to the floor. Pull the elbows in. It's just like the elbows in chaturanga with the elbows pulling tight. Good. And then you just walk the knees up onto the arms. And maybe lift the feet off the ground. Good. If you have sweaty arms, it's not an excuse. Last 3. Good. Into. If you want the vinyasa, take it. Step the feet back or straight back to downward facing dog. Last one of the practice. Good. Very nice. Pigeon pose. Step the right foot through. Heel toe the right foot to the left side of the mat. Drape your belly button as far over the right leg as you can and surrender. Any funkiness in the right knee, lay onto your backside, please. This is a healing practice. It's not meant to create new injuries or aggravate old ones. And then come back to the music of your breath. And just see how deeply you can relax. Last 5 deep breaths here. Good, nice and easy. Just going to change sides. So whatever that means to you, if you need to do the whole down dog thing, do that. If you need to lift the leg, do that. And eventually we'll find ourselves on the left leg, sliding that right knee back as much as you can, propping that heart up and surrendering into the left hip. So the hips have a lot of congestion in them. They only respond to patience, surrender. It's pretty much just like the 405. So the benefits of the practice come from just trying. They don't come from perfection. You're going to feel good when you walk out of here just from showing up, just from breaking a sweat, just from spending a little time, a little maintenance on yourself. But what really separates this practice from any other practices out there is the focus, the breath, and allowing the body to guide you, but let the mind rest. You know, our minds are so active, especially nowadays. And every time that little beep happens on your phone, you know, your reptilian mind thinks that you're about to get eaten by a tiger. Now, that may not make sense, but you just kind of get my point. Learning how to relax has become a skill. It doesn't just come with the package. From here, nice and easy. If you're in the single pigeon, do whatever you need to do to make your way into a seated position with the soles of the feet together. And once you pull the soles of your feet together, sit up nice and tall. Good. If you're really, really tight in the low back, you'll probably just stay right here. Or you can start to pull yourself into yourself, keeping the back nice and even and flat. And then the stimulation of the mind, just being so used to being entertained all the time, whether it's a television show or a movie or whatever the case may be. Somewhere along the lines, our breath became less interesting. That's all you really need. Just breathe. Become interested in yourself. Nice and easy. Release that. Close your knees together. Straighten both legs forward. Last seated stretch here. Reach your arms up. Take a big inhale. Climb high. Forward fold. Exhale. Go for the toes. If you're not quite there, use something as a strap to pull yourself in. And never compromising your lower back for your hamstrings, which means keep your length. That would just be insanity. Oh, beautiful. Take one more long inhale. Lay down on your back as you exhale. Let's do one big back bend together. So when you're ready, feet will come to the floor. Bend the knees. Good. Feet are hips width apart. Lift your hips off the ground. Put the feet under the knees so you can almost touch them with your hands. Put the hands under the back if you want. Interlace the fingers. And then just press the shoulders down to lift the heart a little higher. You're welcome to bring the hands behind the shoulder blades and point your fingers forward and come up to a deeper back bend. We call it upward facing bow or wheel pose, depending on which one you're taking. And you might find that you're really tight in the back. That's okay. It might just mean that you need to do it more. 5 deep breaths. Breathe unrestrictedly. Feel the belly rise. And then take one more nice big inhale and release down as you exhale. Hug the knees into the chest and take happy baby pose. Reach out and grab the outer edges of your feet and plug your knees down. Good. And if this doesn't feel pretty awesome, see me after class because you're doing something wrong. Feel the tailbone melting down. Use a little bit of strength to pull the knees towards the floor. From here, wide straddle stretch means you're either going to bring the hands to the knees or hook your big toes with your first two fingers. And you're going to start to pull the knees towards the floor, meaning you might straighten the legs, but you might not. It's very personal. This is going to stimulate more blood flow into your groin, your pelvis. And then nice and easy, close the legs together. Hug the knees into the chest. Stack your right knee over your left, as if you're about to do eagle legs, but you're not. Drop the knees to the left, open your right arm to the right. Take your final spinal twist. See how deeply you can relax everything, excluding your breath. Let the spine reset. Nice and easy, come back to the center line. Go ahead and untangle the left leg over and tangle the other leg. Drop the knees to the right, open your left arm to the left. And maybe turn your face to the left for the very final spinal twist. And any remaining tension in the body, see if you can let it go. Any nooks or crannies left untouched, it's time to soften them now. Come back to the center line, give everything a big squeeze goodbye, curl yourself into a little tiny ball of energy, which you really are anyways. Take a big inhale. This will be your last conscious one. Hold your breath. Pull the nose to the knees to the nose. Take everything, squeeze it in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Let it go. Shavasana, relax on your backs. Cover the eyes, close if you like. Shavasana, call it corpse pose. We started as children, found that childlike mentality where we were curious and inquisitive, open to new things. We grew up to be strong warriors. Now it's full circle of life, corpse pose, the final resting pose. Rest your body. from here. You're welcome to stay on your backs for a few minutes. Because of the shortened class, officially our time's come to an end. So if you'd like to move your bodies, start with little movements into the fingers and the toes, maybe deepening your breath. And if you chose the movement route, stretch the arms over your head, point your toes forward, get a final full body stretch. And then lastly, bend the knees and roll over to your right side. And pressing your hands into the wood floor and making your way up to a final seated position with the eyes closed, shoulders relaxed, sitting up nice and tall, basically being grateful for your practice, flexing that internal muscle of gratitude. And so fortunate to walk in that door today. And bring the hands together in front of your heart center. And just notice the presence of your mind, the vibrational alignment. Take one last big inhale through the nose. Hold your breath. Bow the mind to the heart. Exhale through the mouth. Namaste.